Hey there friends, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and I'm pretty excited because I get to show you some new product from the mini fall catalog. So this is a Christmas ensemble that I pulled together from items in the new catalog. We have the Christmas Classics stamp set, which I love the larger hand-printed text, but then we've also got the nice neat type set, and then we've got a couple images. And then it coordinates with this Christmas Classic dies, and I really love this die set as well. We've got a couple really large ones, right, for embellishment, along with some tags. And then we've got these extra leafy greens and texture bits that we can use as well. So I'm going to use all of this in my cards today for you. But on top of that, I want to show you this designer series paper. So I'm really a classic Christmas kind of gal. I like the reds and the greens. So this paper really popped out to me from the catalog when I saw it. So I thought that's definitely what I want to buy to play with. This is, the name of it is the Joy of Christmas Designer Series paper. So it's got cherry cobbler, old olive, pecan pie, pebbled path, real red, and shaded spruce in it for our colors. But I'm just going to give you a quick peek at the different patterns. So there's this really bold one here. And then we've got our green plaid, a little bit tighter with the green print with the berries, a red plaid, this really kind of calm leafy background, which you could use this any time of year kind of card. So that's kind of a really great any kind of paper. And then this red berry paper. And then if you flip it over, now this is really kind of different. You flip it over and we've got the bright green kind of mottled paper, a red print, right? That's kind of fun. And then we've got two that are music notes. So we've got the pebbled path and the gray one. I can't think of the name, I just said it. And then we've got the same colors and kind of this wood grain. So really, there's paper prints in here that you could use with lots of different cards. So I hope you will take a peek at that as well. Now, I'm going to be playing with the freshly made sketches, Sketch 600. Pretty excited. They're at their 600th sketch, so that's kind of amazing. They've been around quite a while, and I really like working with their sketches. They're always easy to follow and use. So I'm going to be using the new stamp set, the new dies, and some of the paper in my projects today. So I've kind of thought them out in my head, but I haven't made them yet, so we're going to make them together here, and we'll see how they all work out. Okay, so first I did some die cutting. So I used shaded spruce, and I cut out a couple of these larger labels, and then I did one in real red and one with that fun red print with the second die from the new die set, the square set. And then I've got two white labels, so my bases will be white. And I've got a little extra greenery here, and then I've done a bunch of the berries. Okay, so I'll pull the berries back in when we're finishing off. So here's our sketch. Now, it's a sketch, right? It doesn't have to be exactly the way they put it down. You can just use it as a jumping off point. So I'm using mine as a jumping off point. I'm actually going to turn mine landscape. So instead of going portrait, I'm going with landscape. So I'm going to do two different ones for you. So this one I've already embossed with the polka dot pattern from the Basics 3D embossing folder. I just wanted kind of texture in there, but not too much to steal the show. Make sense? Okay, so here's my layout. So I'm going to use one of these. Okay, here's the long piece for the back. Then instead of a circle, I'm using a square. So I've got my pattern paper. So I've got my red and green in there with my white. Okay, and then I have a sentiment tag that I'm going to tie right in there. So I'm following the sketch, but not exactly the way they show it. And I'm using all these parts and pieces, so I've got some embossing, some of the DSP, and then these die cut labels. So for this one, I'm going to use the Season's Greetings stamp. Now these are photopolymers, so you can see right through them. And these are brand new. They've not had any ink on them yet. So I'm just going to lay this down on my paper here, and then get it on my block. And then, let's see, I've got both the shaded spruce and the red ink on my table, so I think maybe this one I'll do with red and pull out the red from that paper. So I just set my stamp on my block. I'm going to ink that up. We're going to practice stamp once. It's always good to practice stamp. Make sure you're going to get a nice, good stamp down. Then I'm just going to put my label down. I can see through my block, I can see through my stamp, so I can line it up on my tag underneath and press. Get that to release. There we go. And then I can just put this together with some adhesive. And then this is where my little berries come in. So this guy has like berries here on the edge. So I'm going to take some of the single berries and add those with, I'll just do them with mini glue dots. That'll be the easiest, less messy way to do. So just stick them right on your glue dot roll here. And then either with your fingers or your take-a-pick or a piercing tool, go ahead and pull those off and just put them in place. So easy peasy, just like that. Add a little more definition, right? Just like that. And I can do the other three. That didn't take too long. The other three on the bottom one here. So the new catalogs, they haven't quite started yet, but you probably have one, has arrived in your mailbox if you have a Demonstrator. If you don't have a Demonstrator, get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you with your Stampin' Up! Needs, be it catalogs or orders, or if you need help with a technique. I'm always happy to create samples for you and help you understand how to do certain things. That one popped off. Let's try that again. Okay. And you guys are welcome to subscribe to my newsletter. My links are all below, so it's really easy to find how to sign up for my newsletter, or if you just have a question, there's a contact link down there. So love to hear from you, whether it's you're enjoying my videos, or you have a question about a project, or you want to know how to get help placing an order, or getting a catalog. You let me know. Alright, so there's that. I think I'm just going to do all of these with dimensionals, because that's kind of fun every once in a while to just do full-on dimensionals. And this is really easy to just layer these up, right? Layer them up and put them down. I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to use my edge right along the middle of that long die. Give it a lot of support there. Alright, so there's the first one that I kind of premeditatedly crafted in my head. So there's the first one. Alright, so if you want to stick around, I'm going to do another one. Okay, so this one I'm also using a white base, but I thought I would use a panel of the really wonderful DSP that I showed you. So this is just going to become my background. I'm just going to put this on if my adhesive wants to work. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on. Okay, now I've got the same elements really. I've got the green tag, and I've got my, this time I did the embossed folder just on a piece of red, and I've got my label. Now this time I'm going to change up my sentiment a little. I'm going to use the smaller words, and I'm going to show you how I get them on my block. So this time I'm going to use Happy Holidays. So I'm going to take my Happy and my Holidays, and I'm going to line them up on my grid paper, hopefully without them sticking to my finger. I'm going to line them up, kind of like typesetting. Right? I always think of the printing press when I'm doing little words like this. Line them up, Now I'm not leaving a gap because there is already a gap on the stamp, between the stamps. And then I'm just going to set this on my block. Now let's give that a test. This time I'm going to use my shaded spruce. Test it, it's pretty good to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this on my label. Now I'm going to stamp it closer to this edge because I'm going to trim it down a little bit. So I'm going to stamp it on this edge. Okay. And I kind of put it in the middle, up and down. And now I'm just going to take my snips and I'm just going to trim it shorter. Okay. Now don't worry, I'm going to cover up that cut edge in a minute. So this is going to go there. Okay, and then if I can find what I did with them, oh, they're underneath. There they are. Right, I have these two extra embellishments. So I'm just going to take these and kind of embellish off the edge here. And then I've got these double berries that I had from my die. The die does a single and a double together, and I'm just going to use the double ones to put right here. Now, I just want to see if it'll fit. Before I glue anything down, if I turned it this way and followed the sketch more, it will fit this way. So let's do this one this way. One of each way. Okay, so this time I'm just going to put these down with my liquid adhesive. So this is going to fit just inside of my DSP. And then I've got my textured red piece. Just going to overlap. I've got my sentiment, which I've cut down to size. It's going to go right in there. Right there. I think I wiggled it a little to straighten it out. Alright, then these little guys, I'm going to use my glue dots again because they're really small. So I'm just going to get my glue dot on the back of there, if I can. And then I'm going to add this along the edge. And I'm going to bring in the second one. Just add it along the edge, just kind of fanning them out. Okay, and then I'm going to add a glue dot to the back of my red dots, like I did before. And then I'm going to use my piercing tool to get those off. I don't want to tear them. Just add those over the top. So there we go. So leave me comments, guys. I'd love to hear if you'd like following along, what you think of this new paper and set, and playing along with sketch. Now remember, the link to their sketch is also in the blurb below, so you can go right there and see everybody else's creations along with mine. And please leave me a thumbs up, share the video, and leave me comments. Okay? If you need to get a hold of me, you know how with the links below. Alright, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're enjoying your new catalogs and get those wish lists ready, and we'll be ready to get those orders in for you. So, until next time, happy stamping!